All right, guys, what's going on? What's up? Welcome. Hello.
Holla.
um, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is RJ Martinez, and that is
D. I'm D. Baker.
okay. Okay, but it's this way, huh? It's this way. I'm
Yeah.
all pointing the wrong way.
I was like,
Over here.
wait, who's over there?
What do you call it? What do you call that one show back in the day, where everyone used to pop up?
Oh,
Full House.
The Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch. There's all right.
Yeah.
That's kind of like this. What's going on? There's a few people in here already talking about advertise on Amazon. Advertise Amazon. Yo, what's going on?
Holla, holla.
Making sure this is live in the groups. It should be starting. It says starting soon, but it should be live already, right? I'm pinning it.
I think so.
If you guys are joining in, barely joining in, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, doesn't matter. If there's a like button right there, hit that mother for me. And I didn't cuss, I bleeped it out. So hit that for me. Really appreciate that. Hollywood Squares.
What?
I said there's Hollywood Squares too. There's that one too. That's a classic one. That's a dope one. That's pretty good right there. I remember that one back in the day. That was actually a really good show, right?
It was fun.
There goes T.
I'm actually gonna post this in the product.
I did
group as well.
Okay, go ahead. You post it if you want to post it too. Go ahead.
Oh, it's actually, you already got it in there. It's good.
Yeah. Good. Just pin it to the top for me. Yeah.
Yep.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Ganti, what's up, man? What's going on? Long time no see.
Randy? I know. We should chat with him sometimes. I see him. I'm creeping you on social media sometimes, Ganti.
Good morning. We're just hopping on here to say what's up. Any questions related to if no one has any questions, we're probably just going to go back and forth with a few things that we see going on in the community. But if you guys have any questions related to anything print on demand, okay, what we like to say here, there's no such thing as a bad question. So if you have questions about print on demand, anything related to your business, please ask. We're here to help you, and this is what we do. We do this. Well, we have our own businesses too, right?
Yeah.
And then we also do this, along with our businesses to help other people. All right. So I'm excited for actually going into Q4, right? I think it's amazing opportunity, especially right now. If you're looking into starting an online business, if you're looking into starting an online business, I think it's the best time to start because I feel
like because you're coming into a season of the year where it's like so easy to make sales, right? So I feel like we should just hop in. So we should just talk straight about usually what people struggle with when they first start their business, right? Or when they're first thinking about getting into online sales, how to do it, how to start. Usually, honestly, what happens is you start at a time of year when it's not prime for shopping necessarily, right? And then you're not having instant success. And then you think because you're not having that instant success, you're like, oh, I didn't sell 500 of this in 5 minutes. People just quit straight up. That's what happens. People are like, oh, well, so-and-so said it was going to be easy. I just had to put 3 designs up and then I was going to have $50,000, and it's that's not how it works. I wish it was if it worked like that, we'd all be super rich.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works. There's a whole bunch of things that you have to learn. And especially now, I feel like the learning curve is kind of steep, right? Because things change so quickly. There's a whole bunch of different places that you can be selling. You got to be learning about each of those different platforms and how to get targeted focus over there. And so if you start out kind of in this place of not really knowing what path you want to start on, where you want to go, what you want to do, and what you want to sell, you're instantly primed for failure. And that's honestly the first thing that I see a lot of people do wrong is they just they come online, they try to be everything to everyone, they kind of try to look at what's selling and do something just a slight bit left of that, that person's selling mom shirts and they just say mom on them, so I'm gonna make my own shirt that says mama, and that's gonna sell, right? And it's and they have no concept of research, marketing, branding, like any of that stuff that you need in order to be super successful, right?
Yeah.
So
No, adding to that too, I feel like when it comes to a lot of this stuff, it just you understand you have to put the work in. Like there's no way around it. Okay. Um, Even if you let's say it's like I have a comment here that says saturated business. Every business is saturated,
it's true.
right?
Everyone is.
And I'm not trying to say this in a mean way, but every business is saturated. But how are you going to be different from everyone else? That's something that you have to figure out on your own. It's not like here you go, here's everything. Yes, here it is right here, but you have to make it work for you. And then there's a comment right below it. It says t-shirts seem to lost interest, and we need some POD products with higher margins. That's up to you. Okay. When it comes to any of this stuff like this, there's certain products out there that are, making $40 profit margins, right? $50 profit margins, $5 profit margins, but that thing is selling 100 times a day, 50 times a day, 5 times a day. It doesn't matter. Everyone is going to be different when it comes to sales. Okay. I think if you're making your first sell, okay, with a product, that's an accomplishment. Okay. First things first, you're making $5 a month. That's an accomplishment. So now what are you going to do to take it from $5 a month to $100 a month, and then $100 a month to $200, $300, $400 a month?
And then how are you going to stay consistent once you have that too? Because that's the thing. It's like, I feel like a lot of people started thinking it's going to be super easy, or just thinking like, let's just look at what's happening in the marketplace. Let's look at who's already selling really well and just copy what they're doing, and just like, or just do something very similar. And I'm not copying them exactly, but I'm just doing something that's like the exact same thing, different fonts. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's not what's actually going to help you build your business. And I feel like even having an understanding of the platforms. So like if we take it straight back to basics when we're talking about Q4, okay? So like right now, straight up is the time. If you have not started, right now is the perfect time for you to get started on a shop, starting to prepare to start selling things in Q4. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'm thinking is like, when you're going to come into this, if you haven't had success yet, so like you've been trying things, and there's a few comments in here already that makes me think that there's some people here who have tried a couple things, haven't necessarily done it right, haven't applied the tips correctly that we give or whatever, and then found themselves in a little bit of trouble, or found themselves not selling the way that they wanted to, or whatever. Okay. And usually that's a symptom of, like I said, like not having the focus, not having the structure that you need to have, not having the path that you need to follow in order to have the best chance of success. Because straight up, even following the best path, like I could give you right now a perfect strategy that has worked in 10 or 15 businesses, okay? And that has gotten those 10 or 15 businesses making anywhere between $2,000 and $10,000 a month, every single month consistently in their shops, okay? Yeah. And I can give that to you. And if you have no idea how to do it, you have no idea how to execute that properly, how to be consistent and be accountable about that plan, straight up, you're not going to be making any money off of it. And so then you might come back and you say, oh, well, your plan didn't work. Your plan's garbage. Your tips suck. Well, that's not actually true, because there's other people out here in the marketplace, in the community, who are actually using those things and implementing them strategically in ways that they're finding the success, but it's not working for you because there's something missing. There's something that you're not understanding. There's something that you're not executing properly. There's something missing in the way that you're applying that strategy to your business. And once you fix what's missing, you're going to start to see more success. Okay. Yeah. So that being said, you want to, like, in the very beginning, if you haven't been having success just yet, you want to think, okay, well, what platform do I want to start on? One of the major things that I see people make mistakes about in the very beginning, or even sometimes like if they have been just kind of dabbling and not having a huge amount of success in their business, is they want to be on every single platform. Okay, so they want to be selling KDP, they want to be doing merch, they want to be doing Etsy, they want to be doing Redbubble, they want to be doing their own Shopify. And like straight up, if you're not an expert in any one of those things yet, you can't be doing all of those things yet. And that's not to say that at some point in your future, you're not going to be able to do all of them, right?
Yeah.
But now, you got to pick one, and you got to become the expert in that one and monetize that one, so that then you're having the money in your account to really then maybe hire some help, outsource some things, move into a different strategy of understanding the next one, right?
Yeah. No, what's up, Josh? What's going on? No, and I see in the comments coming in too as well. Just if you're blaming something else on someone else because you can't accomplish it, that right there is like you're never gonna accomplish nothing if you're saying like, oh, I didn't do this because this person did this. Like, let's really think about what you just said right there. Like that's not good. That's not you got to hold yourself accountable when it comes to any of this. Okay? You can't just say, "Oh yeah, this person I couldn't make a $200 a month because this person didn't teach me correctly." It's you, I'll give you the tools, but it's your job that's doing the business to understand what you need to do that. Okay? If the money was growing on trees, like, here you go. Here's $100. Here's $100. Here's $100. That's not how it works. It's all about, understanding what works for you and implementing it for your business so you can grow it. And everyone is a little bit different when it comes to, growing, on different platforms. You're leveraging these platforms. Be thankful that you're leveraging certain platforms like KDP, Redbubble, Amazon, Etsy, and you're leveraging their audiences and creating products, for the audience, and then you're making sales. Even if you make $2 a month, okay? If you make $2 a month in 8 months, that's an accomplishment, okay? But if you're trying to make more money and in 8 months, obviously that's not cutting it. You need to figure out what you're doing wrong, because it's not any of us that are doing anything wrong to you. It's you doing it wrong, and you need to figure out why you're doing it wrong, and you need to perfect it and make it better. That's what it is. And if you do that one little tweak, you can make $100 a month, $50 a month, right? And so on and so forth. I've helped people, right? They're making like $10,000 a month, $8,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $100 a month, $2 a month, $4 a month, and they're all the same. And I just talked about this with D in our private group, but those are all accomplishments. Everyone's different. Someone just wants to make $100 a month. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Someone wants to make 2,000. Someone wants to make a full-time income. If you want to make a full-time income working online, you better start working your ass off. And that's just the truth. Okay. I'm not being mean. That's just the honest truth. And that's what you need to do to grow your business as an individual, and not push it off on someone else. Like, hey, I only made $20 this month, and it's your fault because I watched your video and it's your fault. And that's no. It's your fault. Okay. Understand that. And then you may grow to where you want to go. Like, you know what I mean? So.
Well, and I think this is the thing. So like when it comes down to like actually helping people and actually giving people like a bare bones strategy, especially people who are new or people who have not had any level of success whatsoever, really trying some of these things that they're seeing maybe on our free videos or free tips that they're learning from other people in the community, right? I think the first thing straight up to do is really kind of focus on your niche, okay? One of the major things that I see folks do, which usually contributes to a lack of their success, is they start in a niche that they don't know anything about. Mm-hmm. Okay. So maybe you don't have kids and you're trying to get into the mom niche. And so because you don't have kids and you are not a female, you are not a mom, you don't really know what moms are struggling with, how moms are feeling, what moms are doing in their day-to-day, what the trend is for kids' clothing as it relates to what moms are shopping for right now, what the price points might be that'll be enticing to them. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you start out in this place of like, you're not going to focus on this mom niche, right? And that's a huge niche. There are crunchy moms, there are cool moms, there are tattooed moms, there are hippie moms, there are a whole variety of personality types of moms that have kids, mm-hmm. right? And so you come into this niche just thinking, oh, I just want to target moms. So I'm going to put a shirt out that says mama. And then I'm going to put, some funny kind of like tongue-in-cheek shirts for kids out. And I'm just going to blanket the marketplace and hope that sells. And I'm not going to do some keyword research to figure out, who exactly is it that would like this particular font or this particular color or this particular product. Okay. Yeah. And then when that doesn't work, I'm going to say, oh, well, their tips don't work. And that's not what you're trying to do. So tip number one is start it with a niche that you actually know. Start it with something that you're involved in, engaged in, something that you like. So if you have a hobby, like you like bird watching, you like playing tennis, you like, I don't know, reading books, okay? Or you, maybe you're like a social justice activist, maybe you like protesting and standing up for other people's rights, maybe you like I don't know, like photography, whatever it is, whatever your niche is going to be, martial arts, soccer, you know what I mean? Whatever it might be, start with that thing that you already know, because you're going to know aesthetically what other people who like that same thing are liking or buying or engaging with. Right. And it's going to be an easier starting place for you in terms of looking at the keywords that are going to bring the right people to your listings, figuring out the strategy that you're going to employ in terms of your product marketing. Like, where are you going to place these products? Are you going to advertise them? And if so, where and who to? Like, all of those kinds of things are going to be a lot more easy and organic for you if you're first starting on something that you actually know and like right away. Right.
Yeah.
But if you're starting on something that you don't know, you're already starting at a disadvantage, because now you have to go learn all about that niche or that topic that you've chosen that you're not necessarily interested in. That, you know, when it is a challenge, maybe to get those first sales, you're going to lose interest in really quickly. And then what you're usually going to do, and what I see a lot of people do, is actually then pivot into a completely different niche that they still don't know anything about. And they repeat the exact same process that didn't work for them the first time over and over and over again. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about Q4, and we're talking about like what you need to be doing right now if you want this Q4 to be better than last Q4, or maybe even better than the last whole year of the business that you've been trying, whether it's selling on Redbubble or selling on Etsy or selling somewhere else. That's what we're talking about. So straight up, what do you need to do? You need to reassess the niche. You need to reassess the topic or the subject or the content pillar that you are designing your products for. And you need to really get clear on who is it in that niche that you're targeting with what product. Okay. Yeah. Once you fully understand that, it's a lot easier for you to design it, for you to know which channels to use for your marketing, whether you're going to put that on Pinterest, on TikTok, on Instagram, whether you're going to, you know, work with influencers, that sort of thing. All of that stuff becomes a lot easier when you understand who it is that you're trying to get to purchase your product, and you know that person just as well as you would know a good friend of yours, right? Like, you know what they like, what they're going to laugh at, what they don't like, what they're going to hate, what's going to make them mad, all of that kind of stuff. It's super important before you even put the effort into making one design, before you even put the effort into choosing what marketplace you're going to start with. It's who are you trying to serve?
Yep.
Step two then becomes figuring out where that person shops. Okay. So there are tons of moms, like tons of aesthetic moms that will shop only on Etsy. Okay. And why will they shop only on Etsy? Because they want that boutique feel. They want that kind of bougie, like, oh, this is not a mass produced, like it's a small local business that's making this for me, and they're going to put something cute in my little package, and it's going to be a whole like experience. And straight up, there are people that have told me over the years, different people, different times, that they exclusively shop on Etsy for that purpose. Okay. Yeah. So if you're targeting that mom and then you go out and you put those designs up on Redbubble, you ain't never going to get in front of that person. Okay. Or if you go and you put those designs up on merch, same exact thing. They're not shopping on merch. They're shopping on Etsy. And a lot of them are starting on Pinterest. Right? Yeah. So if you're not in those two places, you could be putting up bomb designs, great designs that should be selling, and seeing absolutely zero success.
And then also to adding to that too, just it can be any, doesn't matter where you guys are selling at. Okay. It can be, we're just talking about like a product in general. It can be Etsy, it can be Redbubble, it can be Amazon, it can be KDP, whatever you're doing. It's just a product in general. Like, this applies to anything. And I think it's a bigger picture. It's starting an online business. If you don't understand that, if you're not absorbing and understanding what we're saying to you, then you're just going to be you're going to hop on to the next call that we do, the next live, and you're like, well, how do I do this? And how do I do that? Like, understand what we're telling you. Okay. understanding your audience, knowing who you're like selling to is a big thing. Maybe they don't like a all white design on a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Maybe they want some color in their design, right? Or they don't like all black text t-shirt. They don't like white shirts. They don't like red shirts. They want a black shirt, okay? And that's all they want. So think about it that way, okay? There's so many different ways to approach this, and if you do it the correct way, the next thing you know, you have a top seller that's making you $500, $100, $5 a month. Like you know what I mean? It just
you just need to start, and then you're going to build that momentum from there, right?
Yeah, there was a few questions in here. Let's Teresa, how about pros and cons of Shopify versus Wix?
Okay, so straight up, girl, I actually just got back into Wix. So like I stopped using Wix years ago because I don't love the whole drag and drop thing. Like I feel like, there's a ton of add-ons. I don't feel like it's as robust a solution as Shopify. And I mean, yes, it is slightly less expensive, I think, for their base package than the base package of Shopify. But I feel like straight up, you will start out on Wix and then you will move into Shopify later, which is then way more of a painful process because it's not super simple to download all of your products out of Wix and then put it into the Shopify system. So you're going to need to either pay somebody to do that for you, or you're going to have to pay an app. And depending on the number of products you're selling at the time, it might not be that cheap. So my thing is, if you already know the intention is to scale, and when you scale, you're going to have a more robust solution, right? Like Shopify, just start it with where you're going to end, straight up. Like there's no sense in starting out with a cheaper solution, trying to build it from there, and then making kind of like a pain in the butt for yourself to try and move that stuff off of Wix and into Shopify later. Okay. Yeah. So pros and cons, straight up, Shopify has integrations with everything. Like they integrate now with Facebook and Messenger. There's a whole thing called Shopify Inbox. So if somebody messages your Facebook page or your Instagram page, it shows up in your Shopify inbox. If you have VAs that you're working with or freelancers that you're working with to try and help with your customer service, you can assign those conversations over to those people from your phone, from your computer, from your iPad, everywhere you are. There's a whole assortment of the world's best app developers on Shopify that are literally creating new apps every single day, targeting business owners that need different kinds of solutions. So it gives you a really customized approach, a really custom solution that you can have for any of the things that you're trying to do with your specific Shopify store. Separately from that, it already integrates with all of the major, and when I say integrates, I mean like legitimately integrates. Like you pull a whole product catalog from your Shopify into all of the major social media platforms like Pinterest, like TikTok, like Instagram. You can pull your whole Shopify catalog onto there. You can get a verified status on some of those platforms like Pinterest, just by clicking through and making sure that you've got the core things that Pinterest wants. And that instantly creates a know, like, and trust factor when somebody lands on your Pinterest page and they see that little verified merchant check mark, right? Wix is easier to start with. That's probably the one pro that Wix has over Shopify, is that it is a drag and drop. So that means you're building it, not having to learn about coding, not having to learn about, really like the user interface. It's very simple. There's a plus button. You click the plus button, it creates a new section. There's another plus button you can drop a picture in. It's very, very simple in terms of setting it up. But in the end, in the long term, Shopify blows Wix out of the water any day of the week, in my opinion. And I will be honest with you, I am a Shopify partner, but I am not saying that because I am a Shopify partner. I am a Shopify partner because I believe in Shopify. Okay.
How much you get paid to say that?
No, I don't get paid to say it. I have had websites on all of the platforms. I've done Magento websites. I've done Wix. I've done WooCommerce. I've done just regular WordPress, like custom websites, like Squarespace, SquareUp. I've done all of them. And hands down, in my opinion, Shopify is the best for most small businesses.
All right. Okay. Thank you, knocking that one out. Teresa, next one. Teresa, so she got finally back home to the camper with all my equipment. What's the best way to jumpstart her shops again? Her two shops.
So straight up. First things first, I'd start with your best sellers. You're going to throw a little bit of advertising dollars behind those best sellers to get them back in the ether of the shop or the Etsy algorithm. Okay. Separately from that, before you even do that, before you even take your shop off of vacation mode, the first thing I would be doing is revalidating whether the keywords that I'm using at the top part of my title, the front of my title, are still the most relevant keywords for those products that I've associated to them. Now, I know it hasn't been a huge long time. It's not like you've been like gone on vacation mode for like the last 6 months or something, but you still want to be revalidating that. And if there's better keywords, spend the time in your shop before you take it off vacation mode, putting those better keywords at the front of your titles and in your tags and renewing those listings, okay? So that when you take them off of vacation mode, you're going to have that bump of like, it's a freshly renewed listing. It's got some new keywords that are relevant and that are ranking right now. And then you've got that extra little bump of throwing a little bit of advertising spend at your best sellers only. That's the easiest way to re-jumpstart your shop if you don't have a social media following or an email marketing list.
Yeah. Nice. All right, next one. I don't know. It says he made 11 cents the first month. He bought his way out of tier 10. So that's one way to do it. So buy your way out of tier 10. Now made over 4K. So let's say in the last 2 years, 3 years, made 4K, right? I think you pay for your utility bills, right? Which is really cool. And that's awesome. So good job. And thank you for sharing that with us, because you do not have to share that with us. 4 years. Okay. 4 years. So he's making what, $1,000 a year? Yeah.
Still, that could be paying your cell phone bill. Pretty good.
And then also too, I'm more successful in it than other. So where is this at right here?
So Nasir said he's more interested in KDP. He's more successful on that than in other marketplaces, is what he's saying.
Yeah. So like when it comes to this, guys, I'm just kind of elaborate a little bit more on this. Like certain people are going to be successful on different platforms. That's just the way it is, right? And when it comes to that, you may be, good at selling on Amazon FBA compared to selling on Etsy. Amazon FBA, then Amazon merch, or KDP, but those certain platforms are both selling on Amazon. But at the end of the day, everyone's going to be different, because you might be good at creating a book, you may be good at creating a t-shirt design, you may be good at selling products online to people. Okay, there's several different ways. Everyone's good at something, okay, and better than others. Okay, so everyone's journey is going to be different. My journey is different from yours. My journey is different from Dion's. Okay, everyone's different. And also to make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Okay, wherever you guys are watching this, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. And as for what do you recommend to start working on KDP? What do you recommend to start working on KDP? I think when it comes to this right here, just to add to that, I started off with low content books, okay, or line journals, and then started working my way into different niches and creating more of like different types of coloring books, and then even just like medium type novels, like recipes and stuff like that. Challenge yourself as you're doing this, learn how the whole process works, and try to be better at it. That applies to anything. I think it doesn't matter what you're doing. How can you be better than what you were yesterday? Okay, to implement a strategy for your business to grow.
I think too, as it relates to KDP, you want to really start looking at like when people are using certain types of books, right? So straight up, like people buy planners at the beginning of the year because they have their New Year's resolutions. They're all like excited about new goals that they set for themselves, and they think, oh, I'm gonna need a planner to like keep all the progress and keep on track. Okay. And then usually, like if you're trying to sell planners still in May, ain't no planners really selling that well in May. You know what I mean? Unless there's a very specific reason for that specific planner to be selling in May. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to be thinking like about not just the product that you're coming into the marketplace with, but the timing that you're trying to enter the marketplace with that product. So knowing that lots of people buy planners, let's say for January, obviously it makes sense that planners are usually a pretty decent Christmas gift that people give. Why? Because they're inexpensive. They're usually, you can get a planner for like $10, $15, right? And then it makes a great gift for anybody who's setting these New Year's resolutions, which is often a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
So if you have your planners up, let's say October, November, December, there's a good chance that you're going to be making some sales on those planners during those months. Then if you're on KDP and you're looking at a KDP strategy, okay, so we've got the planners that happen, let's say October, November, December. What else are people doing? Well, lots of times they're maybe looking for like their own kind of recipe book, to RJ's point, right? So maybe what they're doing is like they're going to all the family events, you know, like the fam jams that happen throughout the end part of the year, or not even just the fam jams, maybe like the Friendsgivings
Mhm.
and you know, like the work parties and like all that kind of stuff. And they're like tasting the foods if it's potlucks that are going. They're trying to get recipes for those things that they really like. They're trying to put all those recipes in a book together that's their own specific book, so that
Mhm.
they have this lovely book of all the things that they love. And then sometimes what people will even do with those books straight up is they will then try to get those books printed to give to other people in their family or in their like little
Yep.
orbit of friends or whatever, right? So that's another really easy low content book, because you're not putting the recipes in there, you're just making it like a recipe log book, right?
Mhm.
A bird watching log book, you know,
Yeah.
like people who like to watch birds, a log book tracking your gym workouts. There's a
Yeah.
whole variety of different ideas. So then, you know, after January, what is it? Okay, well, so if you were only focused on planners, your sales are probably going to slump after January, right? So now you need to be looking at, okay, like, well, what are you spending your time then putting up, let's say in December and in January, so that by the time February and March hit, you're like, when those sales slump on those planners, you got something else that's coming up behind them making new sales.
Yeah.
Kids activity books are an easy one. There's not a whole bunch of people that are doing a whole bunch, especially winter, if there's like people living in winter climates, right? Ain't
Mhm.
nobody trying to be outside as much in the winter as they are in the summer, right? So the kids need something to do, right? Like something to keep them entertained, whether that's a like activity book where they're learning or they're practicing their letters or they're practicing numbers, whether it's like it's an illustration activity book where they're learning how to draw. Like there's a
Mhm.
whole variety of different things that you can be doing that makes sense based on the time frame that you intend to be putting those things into the marketplace, right?
Yeah.
And you always want to be thinking at least 3 months ahead. So 3 months from now, what will people be wanting? And that's what you're working on today.
Yeah. No, and I think adding to that too, it's not just like slapping all kinds of designs on a book and then tossing it up on Amazon. If you understand everything that D said right there, it take your time doing this and then you'll create like one book that's making sales consistently. And that's just the way it works. I've created books last month where I put some books up and they're making sales consistently. I put books up 3 months ago. Okay. And I publish like between 4 to 5 books a month, 4 to 6 sometimes. Um, and it's making consistent sales, every other day or every day. Okay. But understanding that the process of creating a book, it takes a little bit more time, which people get scared away from that. There's no competition over there. There's underserved niches over there when it comes to like KDP, and there's underserved niches on every platform, right? You just have to put the work in and do the research. It's not like, okay, if I just research this one, oh, I like this niche, I'm going to create a design for it. But there's over 2,000 people in here, and I'm going to create the same saying as everyone else. That doesn't work. Okay, and then if you're doing that, maybe take a step back and analyze what you're doing wrong, and maybe that's what you're doing wrong, and fix it, and then next thing you know, you're making
That is what
sales.
you're doing right. You just said it. You said what they'd be doing wrong. They're not being unique, right?
Yeah. Ali, what's up, man? I'm on
Emily
my
says,
Redbubble and
Amazon merch. Oh, I
wait
must
up
be
one
on a
second. Yeah,
delay.
you're good. You're good now. It says I'm on Redbubble, Amazon merch. Unfortunately, I haven't tiered up yet, so I'm gaining experience on Redbubble. Unfortunately, I'm having difficulties picking a certain style that I should pursue, as well as which audience I should create for. Interesting. Um, do you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, okay.
Can you still hear
Um,
me?
yeah, I hear you. So when it comes to this stuff, like if you're if you could test out Redbubble, that I would recommend you do either you go to try to get some designs up there, do what you do. I recommend you try like Etsy or even just KDP, learn something over there. Because there's just I feel like you're gonna make more sales, but do not forget to put products on Redbubble. Okay, I'm just being honest. Like, don't forget to put the products on Redbubble. It makes, it can make me anywhere between $150 to $300 a month. Okay, and that's just one of the streams of income that comes in. And there's nothing wrong with making 150 to 300. That's good money. That pays for the groceries for the month. That pays for the, like, you know what I mean? That does a lot. So you have to understand. What I recommend is understand an interest, something that's a hobby that you enjoy, and that you can talk about. Every single minute. Like, if we talked about something right now, and you can go on for like 3 hours or 4 hours about it and talk about it over and over, like all day. That's something that you enjoy, and the niche, and you can create stuff for that niche that that people like, that people don't have any type of designs for a certain product. There's a certain saying in your niche that you can mix, that's trending right now in the world. Okay. And then you can apply it to your niche. That's one way right there. Because it's crazy. You see people buying certain things online. You're like, who the hell's buying this stuff? Right. And then you see the people wearing it in public, like, okay, that's who's buying that. Go ahead. Do you want to add to that?
It's true. Yeah. So straight up, like, I think the other thing is, so when you're looking, you're saying I'm having difficulties picking a certain style that I should pursue, as well as an audience I should create for. I always say start with people that you like. You know what I mean? Start with, so like for me, every single brand I do always starts with the end user. Like, who is it that I'm trying to target? Who is it that I'm trying to get in front of? And I always pick somebody that I like. So if, for instance, like I have one shop that does birthday shirts. It's just birthday shirts. Okay. That's all it does. Birthday shirts, birthday type designs. Okay. And so I don't have like a million different birthday shirts in that shop. I have like 3 primary styles of shirts that are in that shop, like styles of design. And I know that that's going to like pertain to a certain audience because they like a clean design aesthetic. Okay. So the audience that I'm after is somebody who's not going to be like the person who spends $35 on a one birthday shirt that they're going to wear like maybe for 1 year tops, but they maybe want to spend like 20, $25 on that shirt. They want it to look cute and clean and come in pretty colors. Okay. So they're not the people that are going to be buying this in like heather gray or in navy. Mostly it's going to be like pinks and whites and lights and whatever. Okay. So me knowing that, I started that shop with that audience in mind, knowing that audience already likes kind of like girly, pink, clean aesthetic, right? If I was going to try to pick a different audience, so like a trending audience or an audience, I won't even call it trending because it's not even really trending, but like let's say boho aesthetic, right? So now I'm going to focus on trying to target an audience that has eyes on the boho aesthetic. The ones, they're the ones putting up the baskets in their house. They're the ones with the like white everything, and they've got the plants in their photos. They're wearing those like little bowler hats, and everything is a shade of grayish or beige. You know what I mean? It's those people that I'm trying to target. What am I going to do? Am I going to put black shirts in my shop? No, I'm not. I'm going to put light shirts in my shop of grayish or beige tones because I know that that's what those people are buying. Right. I know that that's what's going to catch their eye because that matches their aesthetic. Right. Yeah. And so you start by always, in my opinion, you start by understanding the audience that you're getting in front of, and that influences every single other like thing that you do from there. So if we're keeping with this example, okay, so now I'm trying to get in front of these boho women, and I know that I'm going to go with like these grayish, beige kinds of shirts if I'm doing t-shirts. Okay. Yeah. What else am I going to do? Well, I'm not going to be putting on, like very like floofy fonts, like script fonts that are hard to read, or, like fonts like Times New Roman that are just kind of boring and whatever. These people are looking for like more of a groovy kind of hippie vibe, right? So like the bubble fonts, the 70s inspired fonts, those are the kinds of fonts that I'm going to be using in my design aesthetic. And then I'm probably, even before I sit down to start designing, I'm probably just going to go on Pinterest and see what that design aesthetic looks like. I'm going to start typing in 1970s or vintage inspired shirts, looking at the aesthetic, really trying to get my head around the style of it, the font choices, the colors, and then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start designing. Okay.
That's the 70s show, right? That type of theme,
Yeah,
right? Am I
yeah,
getting this
that
correctly?
kind of
Okay.
aesthetic.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Because I that design is trend. Those type of designs are trending right now on the internet, right?
exactly, which is why I picked it. Good.
No, but then it just understanding that getting the attention too, right? Like give them something that's give them content. You don't have to give them a product. Let's say you're creating, you're going, you're going after the audience, but you're building, let's say you're building a fan page or something like that, right? Um, give them the content they want to get that attention. So that the goal is to get the attention. You got the attention, give them a product. Got the attention, give them a product, right? So, and then you can implement that. So that's what it is: content, 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 and then product. And then maybe you want to do you don't want to serve your audience a product every week because you feel guilty or that's the way you want to. You don't want to do that, right? And you want to do it every 2 weeks. You can do that, right? And then you're gonna have an even bigger audience, and then you're gonna give them something that they want, and then you give them something they want, then you make sales, right? It sounds easy, but it takes a lot of work and understanding of your audience, exactly what he said. All right. So Ali, so hopefully that answered your question right there. If you have any concerns or anything like that, please leave another comment. We'll follow up on it. I'm going through all these comments right here. Okay. Trying my best to get through all of them. It says right here, I work 5 to 6 hours a day since last year, but I couldn't earn on freelance work. So this is the same purpose too, as well. Whatever you're good at, Andy, when it comes to anything, when you're working online, what, who are you targeting? Who are you going after and who you're going to help? Like your work. Okay. That's your personal work and you probably take pride in your work. Right. But how are you going to serve that purpose for a business or for that person? So you're freelancing, right? Let's say you're creating YouTube thumbnails. Okay. And you're trying to create YouTube thumbnails, but you needed to show some type of I'm thinking social proof, like you've grown certain accounts and help them get certain click-through rates, right? And then you're showing them your work, and this is what you can do to grow their business. Okay, well, that's the first thing I think about when I try to get someone to work with me. Okay, how are you going to grow my business? If you're going to help me grow my business, then I have a spot for you on my team because you're going to obviously do the work, put in the work, and give me what I want. And then not only that, I'm going to benefit from it. Like, why wouldn't I want a type of person on my team like you? That doesn't, that's like stupid of me not to get you on my team. So think about it that way. What can you provide to someone? Okay. And help them grow their business. And grow their business can be several different things. Making more money is one of them. And then, that's a big thing right there, because then if you make more money, make them more money, then you make money. It's a win-win situation. Right here, put in the work. See that right there, the beginning of the sentence, put in the work. Okay. That's all I'm pointing out right there. Put in the damn work. Okay. Where's that? Before I start here, don't do
anything. So I thought somebody else. Yeah.
So did I miss somebody else? Right here?
Nope, right here? That's the one. Yeah, that's the one right there.
Okay. Can you guys talk about Amazon advertising, monthly budgets, campaign budgets? Are you guys spending on advertising? Do you use Google or Microsoft advertising? So I advertise like on Facebook, I advertise on Instagram, advertise on Amazon advertising. What else? I'm trying to think what else. I'm gonna start advertising on YouTube pretty soon too as well. But when it comes to this type of stuff, I think everyone's going to be different when it comes to this. Everyone's strategy is going to be different. Everyone's budget's going to be different. Okay. So it's all about testing. When it comes to advertising anything, it's all about testing, because my top selling design, I can run ads to it and I can put it, like 10-cent bid or 20-cent bid, and it will still make sales, right? Because it's just so much, it's ranked so much. It has so many reviews, ratings, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to crank and it's going to make sales every single month. That's just the way it works. But when it comes to testing, this is the biggest thing when I see a lot of beginners come into running ads. Start low. Don't start off, I'm going to start off at $100 a day and then spend through that budget by noon and then not make no sales. I've done that a few times because I do it on purpose. I did it on purpose. But I just wanted to see what it would do. And it didn't make no sales. I'm like, God damn it. So I think it's all about testing. Everyone's monthly budget is going to be different. And Q4, sometimes, I spend close to like $7,000, like in some of the months where on advertising, with Amazon ads. But it's in the profit and stuff like that. But it's all about testing out. Like going into Q4, you'll spend more money on ads because people are clicking, trying to shop and stuff like that. I know that like the last few months, the advertising has been a little weird, so I kind of pushed down the bids, and it's still making sales, and it's still like it's even more in the profit now that I did that, which is very confusing because you never know how an algorithm's going to work. And it's sometimes the algorithm's working, it seems like it's working with you, and then sometimes you feel like it's working against you. And it's weird to even say that because you'll see like a lot of comments on that. But at the end of the day, it's testing stuff out like you're testing too. So you have to understand that the keywords I've seen, like I always talk about this too, give the algorithm what it wants and then it will reward you. The keywords are what makes the sales. Okay. That's what makes you the money. And then the design comes next, and then so on and so forth. So when the customer goes onto a platform, let's say Amazon.com, they type in the keywords. That's what I mean. The what makes the sales first. They type in the keywords and then they see your product, your design, whatever it is. You can be selling slippers. Okay. And they see that product. If they like it, they're going to click on it, and then they click and then they buy. Boom. That's how. Anything to add to that, D?
Not really. Like I don't do a whole bunch of Amazon advertising right now. Like I mostly, like my strengths are like Facebook and Instagram advertising traditionally. So I don't have much to add to the Amazon advertising. Like I started doing a few little ads over there, but I'm still in infancy. So I'm still kind of learning and testing, applying some of the strategies that I know work in other ad platforms over there to see like what I can make happen on my merch account. But outside of that's what we're at right now. So I don't use Google or Microsoft advertising. For me, mostly it will be Facebook, Instagram. I actually started running a couple little TikTok ads recently. And that's basically it.
Nice. Good job. I actually ran some TikTok ads. I plan on running some more too. Some good. So you can't run the ads if you put music on it.
Right.
And I was like, what the heck? So I'm just like, some of the stuff, some of the content, I'm like, do I put music on this or just leave it or what? Because what happens if it takes off? I'm just trying to give a little bit more steam. And this makes sense for anything, right? It makes sense for anything. Like if you have a top selling product, why wouldn't you try to push more traffic to it? If you have a top video, a video that's going viral or doing some numbers, why wouldn't you put a little bit, money behind it to keep it going? Right. Keep that, because usually what happens is it will spike up. If it goes viral, then it will just drop down and then it'll keep that consistency. But then what happens if you push it up a little bit, it goes a little higher and it keeps that same consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to speed up through these questions because we're pushing up on an hour. Dang it, D.
We always do that. We're like, yeah, we're going to get on live. We're going to talk for an hour. And then it's like an hour and a half in, we still talking. That's how it goes.
You got my brain going though, because I had a little bit of coffee and now I'm talking with you, and this is a good conversation. Good job.
Yeah.
Where we at? We're search the searchers.
I think the next question is from Santos, and it's 1:43 p.m.
Oh,
and
Santos.
She said that. Thanks for answering her question. You're welcome, T.
Thank you. Thanks, D. So starting out on merch, and I don't have any money to hire a designer. What's your advice to start and have a great and different designs? Oh, that's a really good question. Good job. When it comes to any of this stuff, I feel like there's obviously, if you want to make sure also to give this video a thumbs up, guys. If you guys are new here, give this video a thumbs up. It helps push the content a little bit more to help other people too as well. That's what we're here for. So if you don't have the resources, so you don't have no money to hire a designer, okay, and you're a beginner and you're barely starting out, you're going to have to learn like some free tools. There's GIMP. Okay. I would learn how to use GIMP. That's a free tool that you can use. And there's different softwares out there that you can use too. I think Canva has what is it? Like a 7-day trial, 14-day trial, maybe even a 30-day trial. Okay. There's Merch Informer too as well. And they have a design tool back there. So I would use those resources, do research. Okay. And you need to find niches with low competition. And I know you probably have heard this over and over, but that's what you need to do. And this takes work. Okay. Don't be hanging out nowhere else. You need to close all your tabs, and your goal is to find niches where you can put a design in a niche and rank on that front page of Amazon so you can make sales. It gives you a better chance to make sales if you're ranking on that first page. Okay. And even sometimes I've created some horrible designs, right? And they rank on that front page and they make sales. I'm like, God damn, who's wearing this? I feel bad for you. Like, and that's not being mean. Just I created a design and I know it's not a good design. It's like a little cricket. I'm like, dang, I didn't know. But it still makes sales, but it's just a learning experience. So do not be afraid to test and like learn how to create a design yourself and understand the process and why the person is going to purchase this design and what can you do to create an awesome design. And that's what I would use. I would use these tools and figure out, how to create designs in these tools, use the free trial, get some designs up and try to make sales. Just try as best as possible and then go from there. Go ahead, D.
So yeah, I feel like it's the same. Like, I feel like honestly, you're starting merch, you don't have money to hire designers. Start with the basics, right? Start with text-based designs. Learn how to like manipulate some of those designs. You can do that kind of stuff in Canva. You can do that stuff on some free tools or some low-cost tools as well, right? And basically what you're doing is like I said earlier, you're going to pick the customer, the audience that you're trying to design for and get in front of. You're going to tailor your designs to that specific audience. You're going to make sure that you're putting the right keywords that audience would be interested in so that you're attracting those people on your listings, in your titles, in your descriptions, and maybe even on like the actual words, the phrase that you're putting on the shirt. Start it with designs like that. Then kind of move yourself up into maybe using some things like Free Pick or, Creative Fabrica elements or whatever that you can add into your text-based designs to give them a little bit of character and give them a little bit of that little extra something, right? And then from there, like, you should start to make money. So then you can start to say, okay, like, hey, I'm making money off of this niche or whatever. I have some budget that I can allocate to put towards hiring a designer. And like, don't get it twisted. Like, so many people, to RJ's earlier point, okay, start out in this mindset of I need to make $5,000 a month every month starting today. Well, that's not how online sales works. It's not how any sales works. That's not even how a job works. Like, you go to a job, you get paid a certain amount of money for the amount of work that you do over the course of that month. They're not paying you $5,000 today and then waiting for you to do the work for 30 days, right? So like, if nothing works like that, get that out of your head. You just need to like literally take that thought, throw it out, burn it, never think about it again, and then retrain your focus on how can I make $5 today? How can I make $10 this week? How can I make $100 by the end of this month? How can I make $400 by the end of next month? Okay. And you're starting with these tinier goals. And so when you're starting with these tinier goals, and I get it, the tinier goals aren't as fancy. They aren't as exciting. They aren't as fun. I get it. But it's these tinier goals that when you start winning at them, you use what you're learning to build momentum. Okay. When you're coming into this thing trying to go, I need to make $5,000 tomorrow, you're coming at it from a completely different viewpoint with a completely different mindset than you are when you're like, I'm going to create something that I want to make $10 at by the end of the week. Okay. $10 is a much more attainable goal. Maybe if your effort is to make 10, you're going to make 40, and if you make that 40, you're going to learn something, and then you're going to be able to make it 80 by the following week. You know what I mean? So straight up, start with something easy, start with text-based, start with some form of free tool that you can use to manipulate that text. Like if you're going for a certain design aesthetic to kind of make it bigger, smaller, that sort of thing. Choose phrases that are funny, that aren't necessarily being done in the community. Or like even sometimes what I like to do is if I know there's a trend that's happening in the community, or there's a certain like subject area that's on the uptick in the community, I kind of look at what is already available. And then I think to myself, okay, well, what can I do that's a little like left from that? So like, let's say for instance, we'll use inclusivity or like trans rights. Let's do that. Trans rights. Okay. So there's a lot of talk right now, obviously current affairs in like the US, there's a lot of talk about like people not teaching kids about like LGBTQ type things, not allowing people to use certain pronouns at school, like they, them, that sort of thing. And so because of that, there's a lot of people who are kind of standing up and saying like, nah, that's wrong. So if you were going to basically design for the niche of like trans people, like trans positivity, okay, what you're putting up, like what you're seeing in the marketplace when you come and do this research is like lots of shirts that say trans rights are human rights, and they have like blue and pink and like the trans flag colors. Okay. So obviously what you don't want to do is you don't want to come in with your own shirt that just says trans rights are human rights and be like, "Ooh, I don't know why nothing's selling." You kind of want to go, you want to dig a little bit deeper into that. So what is it that trans people are experiencing? Like they're experiencing a lot of hate. They're experiencing a lot of denial from people in the general audience, right? Like who don't understand how people can be trans, or don't want to let them have the valid experience that they're living. And so if you make designs or you come up with different phrases that speak to that, speak to like inclusivity, speak to kindness, speak to gender being a social construct, speaking to all of those other kinds of things, all of the other marketplace sellers are not doing that level of research. They're putting up basic designs that are trans rights or human rights. But if you're putting up gender as a social construct in the same colors, that's a whole other separate to the left kind of design for that same niche that you're not going to have nearly as much competition trying to sell. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I mean when I say like move off to the left, like see what's happening in the marketplace. There are going to be phrases that like there's literally 17 page like results in the search that comes up if you type in those phrases into the search bar. You don't want to be doing those exact same phrases. Or if you do, you want to be making your design so unique that it stands out from the rest of them on that search, right? Yeah. But straight up, in my opinion, don't even do that first piece. Literally just go and like create a separate, like similar but completely separate phrase or completely separate design, because it's that newness, it's that freshness that's going to attract people to want to buy that listing or that product.
Yep. No, for sure. 100% agree. There's a few more questions in here. 4K a month. Good job. That's a lot. That's $48,000 a year. That's someone's full-time income right there for the most part. And you can do a lot with that, depending where you live at in the world. You live like a king in certain parts of the world. So good job over there. Andy said he wants your YouTube channel. D left a comment right there. You guys don't see that.
I replied to him. I said, I don't have anything on the channel yet right now. Like I'm just coaching in our private group, Ready Aim Scale. But this year I do already have plans. Like I have videos actually edited and waiting to go live for YouTube. So that is going to be something that's coming likely in September, where we'll be talking more, and it'll be videos pre-recorded. So I won't look this pixelated either. Okay.
No, you're good. And so when it comes to this, you got to make sure that you have, your own, like, how do you manage your expenses by freelance work? This, like, when it comes to freelance work, I know, like, I know a few people that are, doing it full time. You got to make sure that you have a, like spreadsheet, taking notes of everything that you're spending, stuff like that. Try to keep everything as separate as possible. That's one way to do it. But that's everything that you have to do on your own. There's a certain apps on your phone that you can use where, let's say you spend $200 on something, make sure you can take a picture of the receipt. Okay. Take a picture of the receipt and it'll save it to your phone, and then you can upload it to a drive or whatever it is. Okay. There's a few different ways that you can do this. Let's see. Here's Dion right here. Yeah. Miss you guys. Nicholas, what's up, man? What's going on? How can I scale my KDP business? We touched on this a little bit already when it comes to this understanding. There's so many different types of books that you can create in one niche. So I think we talked about the bird watching. There's bird watching log books. There's bird watching coloring. There's bird coloring books. There's all kinds. That's what I'm getting at. There's, I don't know. There's so many different in a niche. There's so many different types of books you can create to grow out that scale out that business or scale out that niche to make money. You can make $1,000 a month from one niche if it's done correctly. 500 or 200, 300. There's so much that can be done there. So think about what niche that you want to go after when it comes to creating a book. Don't just try to create a design for a book and put some line pages in there. You can do that. That's one way to create a book. But think of different types of books that you can create in that niche to stand out from your competition. And the next thing you know, you have a customer buying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books at a time. Okay. Nope. Snowbird resellers. What's up? What's going on? So how much effort do you put into building a following in a specific niche before you start trying to market to them? For instance, if you want to sell cat products, do you need to make a Facebook cat page? Is cat pages? What do you think, B?
So straight up, I don't necessarily think that this is the path. Okay. So like, I don't think you have to have a big old following in a specific niche before you're trying to market to them. It is a path. Don't get me wrong. It is something that I see a lot of people do, and they do have success doing it that way. I feel like that basically creates a lot of effort in the very beginning that you aren't getting paid to do. And that you're not really entirely certain how you're going to monetize later. So you end up spending a lot of time trying to build this audience of like followers using maybe like a content sharing strategy where like you're basically going and finding other content creators who are creating, funny cat memes or videos or whatever, and you're sharing those onto your Facebook page to try and get everybody who's interested in cats on the page with the intention of then maybe later like serving ads up to that audience separately and then trying to put some products on that page. Now, straight up, lots of Facebook people, lots of people who come onto a page that's a content page like that, they hate that strategy. So if you have, let's say, built that page up, you spent like, let's call it even like 6 months, okay, getting to 10,000 page followers, and you have never tried to sell a thing to them, and all of a sudden, after that 6 months, all they see is you start putting up some cat shirts, you are not going to see the level of success that you're hoping you're going to see for having put in that 6 months of effort. Okay. So to me, the opposite strategy is actually the better strategy. You start with the product. And maybe if you're looking to kind of start fast, maybe what you're doing is you're coming up with an irresistible offer to get people into that product really quickly. So you've got, some funny cat shirts, whatever, and maybe like the minimum you can sell them for on maybe like Amazon merch or like on Etsy or on Shopify is $15. And you're going to make $1 for every single shirt that you sell. Okay. You're going to start using that strategy where it's like your first order, you bundle two for 30, when really each of these shirts is really like $24.99 plus shipping in regular life. Okay. And you're going to market that introductory offer to people who are interested in cats. Okay. And you're going to see how that offer does. And you're going to invite those people back to your Facebook page in your thank you note that you send out after an order has been placed, or in an insert card that goes out with the order, like when it's being fulfilled. And then basically you're going to grow your page that way instead, right? To me, at least that way, you're getting to the end result faster. Okay. You're getting to the data about like what kinds of designs sell, what kinds of offers get these people's attention and get people actually shopping on your site, what kinds of like creative, I guess, like, or advertising actually results in these people liking, loving, and sharing the ad that pops up on their Facebook stream or in their TikTok stream, and I think that that's the better way to do it, because then from the very beginning of people following your page, they know what you do. You're not pulling a bait and switch where you've created this content page to share content to try and aggregate or like collect this audience, and then you're going to switch it out and try to sell to them now, right? People are onto that. They don't like it. And that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay. Nice. Are you guys planning on doing an Etsy class again?
So we talked about it. I don't think we're going to do an Etsy challenge in the old way that we did the Etsy challenge, but what we are doing, and you'll need to kind of follow along with our page to hear more about is we are coming up with some challenges for our paid group members that other people, if you're not part of our paid group, you'll be able to join in and do with them, that are designed basically to help you sell more in your shop, especially coming into Q4. So we do have one that's coming up. Like I said, you're going to have to stay tuned and come back and pay attention to the Facebook page and the groups to hear more about that. We're not going to give away the whole farm and tell you all about it just yet before it's ready to launch. But we do have something that we're cooking up right now that should really help a lot of you be able to get more sales throughout Q4 by setting yourself up for success early, like in September.
Yeah, I know that's the goal. So yeah, we're planning on doing something like that to just drive you guys to make more sales every single day when it comes to Q4 and making sales daily, right? Because me and Dee both do it when it comes to, you know, generating sales and making sales daily. That's like the first step to anything when it comes to any type of business. For me personally, is just like, okay, what are we going to do to, you know, start making consistent sales and make this bad boy pay for something in life, right? I'm not a big fan of Canva, but a bit of the bullet points use Illustrator. Yeah, I think when it comes to using any type of softwares, everyone's going to have a different opinion on this. Some people are, you know, they're learning to use, you know, Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, and some other people are going to use, they're really good at GIMP, and that's what it is, right? Some people are good at the Affinity products, the publisher, right? The designer, and that's just what it is. And some people are crushing it just using Canva, right? And they understand it, and that's what it is. So I think everyone's going to be different when it comes to that. There's a few people in here. Greetings. What's up? Hopping in here. Is there any other questions that you want to get to?
I don't think there's any other questions really that popped up. So Nicholas said, but I want the farm. Well, then Nicholas, you're going to have to come back and pay attention now. Like, we're going to be telling you a bit more about this over the next coming couple of weeks. It is going to be a challenge. And like I said, folks are going to be able to join it who are not part of the paid group, but straight up, our paid group members are where it's at for us. Like, those people have been with us a long time. We love them. They love us. And straight up, we do our best work for those people because we understand that they have been with us a long time. They're the type of people that get into their businesses and really try hard and work at having that level of success that they're after. And those are the kinds of people that we love to work with, right? Because you have to be showing up and you have to be taking action in order to be seeing results. And if, like, we can talk to you, like I said, at the very beginning of this whole live that we're on right now, I said, we could give you a strategy today that is working to make others $10,000 a month, $1,000 a month, $4,000 a month, straight up. And if you don't know how to execute that strategy, you're not going to have the success that those other people are having, right? You have to be showing up and taking action and then applying, you know, the learning from that action into different things that are going to work for your specific business and that are really going to help you achieve your specific goals. So Nicholas says, where do I find your page? I want to pay. It's Ready and Scale page on Facebook, or you can drop the link. Yeah. So I just drop the link there. Ready and Scale. Yeah, that's how you can join us. For our Ready Aim Scale members, like I said, these challenges that are coming up, they are going to be included in their membership price. And if you're not part of Ready Aim Scale and you just want to join us for a challenge, there will be an opportunity for you to do that as well and come join our community and just kind of see what we do over there.
Yep. All right, guys. With that being said, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Barely joining us.
Yeah,
2 thumbs up. Okay. 2 thumbs up. And yeah, no, thank you guys for joining us on this. There's some amazing, answers to you guys' questions in this live right here. We'll be doing this a little bit more consistently as far as getting on the lives and hopping in here and saying what's up to you guys. Thank you very much. And if you guys are new, if you guys are on YouTube, go follow Dee's YouTube channel. You're going to drop a comment right there from your YouTube channel. You still got your link open. Say hello in the chat real fast.
Oh, for me?
I'm like, wait.
Oh. Nah, man.
Teresa, you're good.
So I'll, like, straight up, I will drop my YouTube the next live we do because I will actually have a video up.
Okay. All right. Okay. No. Thank you guys. Thank you for hopping on this. I really appreciate it. You guys have an awesome week and a good weekend ahead, and peace out.
All right. Bye.